I think I touched on this before in talking about kind of building grassroots level collaborations. But I think the same holds true at a larger kind of advocacy and organizational level. And that is, at the end of the day, we all have a common interest in that when children are successful, when their families are supported, when our workforce is well compensated, our whole community does better. And that matters whether you're, in the business world, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're a community organization. So at the end of the day, I think, we're lucky that our issues at MCCA in terms of, children and families in the workforce are really intersectional. But again, I think you need to show people why it matters to them. Everyone is used to hearing how important education is, and it can sometimes become kind of background noise. So I think in order to build really successful collaborations, in order for MCCA to be more successful in bringing our issues to the forefront, we need to be able to show why it matters to other sectors, to other industries, to other individuals. We need to be able to show the impact that early childhood education has on future growth and development in communities as a whole. And I think, we can point to Art Rolnick. He was kind of a master of this, right? Of putting dollar amounts on things, because there are some people who that clicks for them, right? They think in dollars. And so to be able to put a value on early childhood education into the future in a way that somebody else is going to understand, that clicks. And that then, brings them in as a part of your team and joining the cause. So I think that's really important, and it's something, for us, I also think aligning yourselves in coalitions is something we do very frequently at MCCA, and it's really important because we're not always going to be aligned on every issue, but there's so many great groups doing work in the space of children and families and workforce. And so being able to join together just strengthens the power of your voice. And it also opens your eyes to seeing your own issues a little bit differently. So when, we represent childcare centers, but family childcare is also a very important part of the picture in Minnesota. And there are times when we get together and hear things from family childcare, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that was a struggle that you were facing, because it's different than the struggles that we're facing. But now I understand the complexity even more because we've sat down together. And I think the same can happen, you can talk to the Chamber of Commerce and you get a little different perspective on, employment and on workforce challenges that then serves to make our understanding more nuanced and therefore our advocacy more effective. It's been so wonderful to see the energy and the investment that has come forward for preschool children, right? It really has been fabulous that there is now kind of a common understanding that early childhood education matters and that families, no matter what their financial position, deserve access to that. So the advances we've made for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds have been really amazing, and I'm hopeful that they will continue. But the challenge is that it's really left behind some other very important children, and that is children 0 to 3. And if we don't invest in those children, I am fearful that our investments in 3 to 5-year-olds will not be as effective, will not achieve what we're hoping for, because we've really missed a step in the process. We've missed a link. So I can tell you that, in our organization, as in many, infant care is so important, And yet we do not have the space for the number of families who want us and who need us. And that is a common refrain across the state, across the country. And it's for many reasons, right? It's because, publicly we haven't invested the resources into that age group. It's because it takes a lot of time and personal attention to care for younger children, right? The ratios are lower for a very good reason, and that is it is an incredibly time-intensive, energy-intensive job to be caring for our youngest children. I do think there's a lack of real understanding and therefore a lack of respect for the amazing people who do this job of caring for infants and toddlers. And the reality is, I am not a brain scientist, but I've read the research and it's out there, and it's clear that the vast majority of brain development is happening in those early years. The connections are being made, day by day, minute by minute for these young children. And so if we wait until they're 3, we have missed a critical opportunity in their brains to build connections, to expose them to new experiences, to expose them to language, to sensory, touch and sounds, and all of these things that a really gifted infant teacher is doing naturally on a day-to-day basis. And it may look like just singing a song, or it may look like just reading a story, or just, touching a ball and watching it roll across the floor. It may look really simple, and for that reason, I think we haven't given those teachers their due respect, because it's not simple. Those teachers are engaging those little brains and those little bodies in everything they do, every activity, every story, every song. And they're doing it intentionally, and they're doing it with love and with care. And that's a hard job, but it is such an important job. And when we look at it from the family perspective, parents need it. To be perfectly honest, parents need infant care if they are going to participate in the world the way they are called to do, or the way they want to, or the way they need to support their families. So whether that's going to school, whether that's working, whatever it is, parents need that access, and unfortunately far too many parents don't have it, which leaves them with really no good choices, right? Every parent wants the best for their baby. And for some parents, that is staying home with their child, and that's a really wonderful decision. But for many parents who have to work, or who have to go to school, or who have to do something else outside the home, they really need a supportive environment where they know their child won't only be physically safe, which is important, but will also be given those tools, those experiences, those sensory experiences that will help them build their brain connections, build their social emotional intelligence, build their resilience, so that when they are preschoolers, they are starting off with a solid foundation.